Happy Sunday morning, sports fans, and welcome back to the Grind Fantasy Football Podcast. This is the Governor Greg Davis alongside producer and co-host Travis Big Chops Gonzalez. Big Chops, how we doing this lovely morning?
Not bad. Just looking forward to a lot of football.
Yeah, it's that time. It's panic time. It's triumph time. It's time to rock and roll. We have a great show lined up for you as we take you up to game time here. If you're live, and we're going to talk about some of our favorite bets going into the games today, and then we're going to focus on your start sit questions, anything from the text line. So if you have those last minute coin tosses, just send them our way, and we'd be happy to break that tie for you. And then that should take us about right up to the moment where we panic at 9:50, 9:55 if you're on the West Coast, making those really bad decisions right before game time that generally never work out for you. But you do it anyways because you're a sick psycho. At least that's how it is in my household. Travis, how you feeling today?
Pretty good. I got some favorable matchups. Just looking to bounce back on one of my leagues. Just had an unfortunate start. I have some of the most points scored, but also some of the highest points scored against. So I started off 0-2, but I still like my team. But I mean, that's fantasy football, so just hoping to bounce back.
Yeah.
And
Geez, Chops,
yeah.
that leaky defense of yours giving up all those points. You gotta shore that up, buddy.
Hey, I told you about that leaky D in confidence.
In any case, let's take it right to the bets. So we had a submission from old Dick's Picks, I believe. Want to run through those with us, Travis?
Did we?
Didn't he?
No, not this week. We got Troy's ploys.
Jeez.
But yeah, let's move
All
on to
right.
those.
Well, let's see what Troy's got to say, and if you have any amendments to your lines that you saw or things that have
Well, for me,
intrigued you
yeah,
since the last time we did that.
my teasers this week was Houston plus 2.5, tease it to 8.5. Green Bay minus 7.5, tease it down to minus 1.5, and Seattle minus 7.5, tease down to minus 1.5. If there's any of those that you don't like, or you want, or for me, I'd say if you wanted to sub one out, looks like on the Green Bay matchup, there was some money came in last minute on the other side, so there's not much of a discrepancy there. So if you had to choose one to swap, let's see, I'd say Arizona. There's a good amount of money coming in on Arizona. The line's only 2.5 right now, so you'd be able to get it teased up to 8.5. So yeah, if you want to swap one out, swap out Green Bay for Arizona. But other than that, I like all these picks, and we'll see how we do with these teasers.
Love it. And what did old Troy Schubert have to say on Troy's Ploys, the newest segment on the Grind Fantasy Football Podcast?
All right, so he's got a three-leg parlay, money line parlay. First leg is the Seahawks. He got him at 385. That's about what the consensus is right now. So yeah, that'd be the first leg. They're up against the not very good Saints, so that's pretty safe bet. Um, Second leg, we're looking at Pittsburgh minus 120 is the odds that he gave us. Let's see, what is it? What are they at right now? Pittsburgh. Oh, I can't seem to find them, but yeah, they got 120 right now. Third is Green Bay, so he's with me on Green Bay for sure. So that looks like the odds are about minus 425. I mean, yeah, so minus 425, that's a steep price to pay for the chance at the upset, but that's the beauty of these parlays. They give you nice plus action. We're looking at about plus 185 altogether for this three-leg parlay. So 1 unit to win, 1.85 units. And yeah, the Packers are going up against the Browns. Another team that's just not very good. Underrated defense, I think, but still just in general not even close to the level that the Packers are. So there you go. That's Troy's Moneyline Parlay. He's got a bunch of 7-point teasers. So he's looking at
Attaboy, Troy.
Arizona plus 9.5 and Chargers plus 4. So he's taken a interesting approach. He is swinging across 0. That's not typically something I do, so we'll see how that works out for Troy. In my opinion, you don't get too much value going over 0 just because so few games end in a tie. I feel all the real values at that 3 and 7. But yeah, he's teasing Arizona to 9.5 and Chargers plus 4 on a 7-point teaser. He's got another one, Green Bay. He teased with a 7-point down to just a half a point, and Seattle as a pick'em. And that's going to be 1.2 units to win 1 unit. And then finally, he's got a 3-teamer, 10 points. This is I've never done a 10-point teaser before. I didn't even know they had them, but I mean, they pretty much have any bet you want to make nowadays. He's doing Tampa Bay plus 3.5, Indy plus 4.5, and Chiefs plus 3. So he's teasing all these favorites into underdogs. He is getting above that 3 key number, so that's good there. That's going to be he's putting big money on this. 4.6 units to win 4.85. So
he's confident.
Yeah,
he's a confident man.
We'll check in on Monday. See how those went.
Alrighty. We'll see how Troy's ploys play out. Thank you for that. The newest segment of the Grind Fantasy Football Podcast, Troy's Ploys, brought to you by... we'll get a sponsor eventually, I'm sure.
Yeah.
All right. So anything else on the betting wagering front that piques your interest, you're interested in? Anything we need to talk about? Injury related or otherwise, now that the first round of inactives is out?
Well, depending on when you put your bets in, the Raiders line has definitely shifted with Daniels being out. They were originally at 3.5, but I believe they're at 3. It bounced all the way down to 2.5 at one point, but then kind of rebounded. So the line changed a bit there, but I don't think it's too much of a change. You shouldn't be too worried about losing too much value on that. If you put your bet in early on the Commanders at minus 3.5.
Mm-hmm.
But there is a good amount of money on the Raiders, so I don't know. You may want to hedge that, but that's up to you on, how you feel the Raiders are against Commanders.
Yeah, Raiders Commanders, I think, is a very interesting matchup. Obviously, without Daniels, they're turned into a well-traveled Marcus Mariota, who does have that quick trigger. He's pretty accurate. Ertz, I know, has been a big pickup in leagues lately. Scares the shit out of me for scary Terry McLaurin.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I don't know how you can play him with any degree of confidence. The Vegas defense isn't really good per se, but Mariota banking on your white WR1, I hate that. And I also hate the West Coast team going to play a 1:00 East Coast game. I always think that the jet lag really catches up to them, and it's a sluggish game. So I think Vegas is going to try and grind it out. I think Washington is also going to try and grind it out. Now that Eckler's out, of course, does McCroskey Bill get the bulk of the work, or do they have is Chris Rodriguez going to take some of that equity away since he's been healthy scratch the first 2 weeks? We know they also have a capable running back 2 over there anyways. So Bill's outlook should be great, and he should command the majority of the touches. So we'll see if that comes to fruition. I think there's a couple situations where you kind of want to take a wait and see approach, but maybe you can't. And if you drafted him, if you held on to him, this is that time to shine with Eckler being done for the season. So I don't like Vegas's chances a lot, but I think it's Washington's getting, I don't know, what I'm seeing here, 2.5. I think it's closer to pick 'em, so I would definitely take the points.
All right, excellent. All right, so shall we move on?
Yeah, let's get to some of these start-sit questions and see if any more trickle through the text line, i.e. the Players Club WhatsApp app. So please feel free to keep them coming. And we promise we will spend the rest of our time getting to your start-sit questions. So what have we seen come through the line so far, Big Chops?
Well, Ian here has a little bit of QB problem. He's
Ian from
wondering.
California?
Ian from California, yes, yes.
Okay.
So he's got some injured quarterbacks. He's just wondering who he might be able, or we would recommend he pick up just before the game starts. He's telling us
Mm-hmm.
is a list of who he's got available.
Okay.
Darnold, Geno, Mack, Wentz, Stafford, Mariota, Russ, and Rodgers.
Okay. A lot of good choices. I think there's a lot of landmines in there too.
Mm-hmm.
Stafford, of course, is going up against that Philadelphia defense. Another West Coast team traveling to the East Coast for that early game, paired with Philly's defense. I think Stafford is a fade for me in that space. Geno, we talked about the Raiders potentially struggling against what has been under Dan Quinn a pretty good Washington defense. Of course, they don't have their starting quarterback or one of their top running back weapons, so they're relying on something that's not super good. But the Raiders haven't shown it to us yet in the first couple weeks. Geno has not showed out, even with the weapons that he has, and the new little red Corvette in the backfield and Genty. So I have a hard time putting Geno in the mix there. Same thing for Mariota. You just don't know what to expect. The Raiders defense has improved since last year. I think they're a bit more disciplined. So I do not love. Everybody knows that it's a rookie running back who's leading this backfield, and Mariota is a good ball distributor. But I don't think that. Yeah, I don't think he's going to do a whole lot of pushing the ball down the field or anything like that. So I think they're going to try and grind it out as well. So I do not like Mariota's upside. Carson Wentz, he's still in the league?
Yeah, he's starting for Minnesota.
Let me check my notes here. Starting for Minnesota. Wow. Well, I mean, you love the offensive ecosystem there. They're taking on the Bengals. Of course, O'Connell has gotten a lot out of any quarterback that's ever played for him, whether it's Nick Mullins or Sam Darnold or whomever. So you have to trust that. Of course, he's got one of the best receivers in the game. They are also out one of their top weapons in Aaron Jones. So do they rely a little bit more on the pass because they have an understudy, RB1B Jordan Mason? I don't know. That's an interesting one. And Rodgers, ugh. I don't know. That's doesn't do it for me. Darnold against the Saints, same kind of thing. Saints suck, but Darnold. They don't have Charbonnet, so I think it's gonna be a Kenneth Walker type game. JSN was dealing with that flu illness. I don't know if he's going to be at 100%. Maybe has to rotate snaps a little bit more than normal. So I don't love Darnold in this space either. You said Mac Jones against the Cardinals. I think that's reasonable. Mm-hmm. They have, of course, Kittle's out, but their offense has functioned pretty close to the way it's supposed to with Mac Jones last week, and against the Cardinals, whose defense isn't great, and maybe could be a sneaky shootout type situation with the way the Cardinals offense plays. very cavalier. Um, so it could turn into a situation where the Niners need to score a few more points than they'd like to, and shy away from that run game that I think they will try to impose upon the Cardinals. So I think Mac's a good, interesting choice. If Jennings plays, of course, he was limited this week in practice with a couple different injuries. Between him and Pearsall, I think they can make up for Kittle's absence. It might not be
I believe
pretty.
they said that Jennings was going to be out.
Oh, Jennings is out, and
Yeah.
Watkins is out.
Mm.
Oh, they're fucked. Don't start Mac Jones. Yeah,
Yeah.
don't do that. Yeah, no, don't do that. Then you got Russ against the Chiefs on Monday Night Football. This one probably has the most upside, just because Russ can, throw 20 times to Malik Neighbors, and he'll probably come down with like half of those for 100 yards and a touchdown. So that could be okay. But I guess like as we're sitting here, ugh, gross. Uh, uh, I guess, I guess, no, not Darnold. Wentz? No, no. I'd start Russ. I think I'd start Russ. Monday
Yeah.
night under the lights. Generally, the Giants don't perform well in prime time, but their running back situations, changing. It's evolving right now. With Tyrone Tracy kind of being phased out after his transgression last week, and Rodgers against New England, that's kind of juicy too. Travis, what do you think?
Well, just looking at some of the numbers here. Yeah, Rodgers at New England, I think that's a potential play right there. Over half the time in the last 16 games, Aaron Rodgers has exceeded his projections. Um, yeah, Geno Smith and Mariota. I think if Washington's trying to slow this game down, with Marcus Mariota behind there, and then Las Vegas, definitely wants to, probably lean on their run game some more. I think this is going to be a lower scoring affair. So, yeah, I agree with you both there. Russell Wilson, he's definitely defied expectations on projections. He's over the last 12 games, he's scored over two more points than his projections. So people are definitely undervaluing him, and more than half the time he's going over his projections. So yeah, I think Russell Wilson's definitely a play. Mac Jones, I know they got a lot of guys out, but this is the type of organization that's kind of schemes people into being open. So I mean, I don't want to say he's like just a plug and play guy, but I think there's some potential there. So definitely consider Mac Jones in my opinion. Um, yeah, I think those are kind of the top ones right there.
Okay. All right. Well, I hope that helps you, Ian from California. Yeah, a lot of choices, so a lot of good things to run through. Appreciate that question. Anything else we've seen come in, big chops?
Greg from Washington, he's in
Mm-hmm.
a full point PPR league. He's wondering,
Okay.
is he starting Fannin or Jawan?
Wow, that's a fun one. Of course, two darlings of last week's waiver wire. It sounds like his teammates were asleep at the wheel there, or were already balling out of control at tight end. So
Yeah, you got
interested to
both of
get
them.
both of them. And I think you said full point PPR.
Yep, full point PPR. None of that
Okay.
half stuff.
Well, in that case, let's see. It's Green Bay at Cleveland. Um, yeah, I don't see Cleveland scoring a lot
Yeah,
um,
against a stout
against
Green
that Green
Bay.
Bay defense.
But
They've looked
I will have to say,
extremely solid.
as good as the defense is, the one kind of small hole Green Bay has is they do tend to give up a lot of points to tight ends, so that is definitely something to
Mm,
consider, much more than
okay.
others. And then Harold Fannin Jr. has, I mean, it's a small sample size, but just a couple games. But yeah, the average differential between his production and projection is plus 4.7 points. So he's definitely on the rise. So he's definitely in consideration. Um, what do you think about Jawan Johnson?
Uh, love him. Love him in this spot. Love him against Seattle. I think Kellen Moore has done a great job of integrating him into the offense. I think he is the engine on the receiving side of it. You know, Olave and Rashid Shaheed are both good, but I think that they're trying to funnel this offense to be run first and then go play action, use Juwan Jennings' athleticism, and get him involved early in offense. So in a full PPR setting, I expect Johnson to get a touchdown. I expect him to get 8 or so targets, especially if the game script goes like we think it is and the Seahawks are up early. I think that if the Saints are in chase mode, then Jennings is going to be a big, or Johnson, pardon, is going to be a big part of that.
Yeah, no, Seattle's missing some parts on their their
Yeah,
defensive backs.
isn't
Love's out,
Witherspoon
is
out?
doubtful.
I think Witherspoon's dealing with something. But yeah, I like Johnson this week. I think Fannin, as the season goes on, is probably going to have more upside. But the upheaval quarterback in Cleveland, I think, also gives me pause. Whereas I think Kellen Moore is coaxing what he can out of his current quarterback and asking him not to make the dangerous throws. He's asking him to make the easy throws, and that includes tight ends over the middle, where, again, I think Johnson's going to get targeted frequently. All right, great question, Greg
Yeah.
from Washington. I see one here from the text line. It's a non-PPR JSN or Ricky Pearsall.
Ooh, non-PPR JSN.
Now,
Ricky
JSN,
Pearson.
of course, had picked up the illness designation on Friday, which generally doesn't mean it's going to impact their playing time too much, but you could see some rotation differential if there's some conditioning issues or hydration issues, things like that. Of course, they are at home, so that helps. Pearsall, like you said, Jennings is out. So he is going to be pretty much the only game in town when it comes to the
Yeah. And
passing game.
Arizona's
So it's going to be
defense
hard
is
to.
heavily injured too.
It's about as leaky as your D, uh, or so. So yeah, non PPR setting, JSN or Pearsall. Where are you leaning?
That's a hard one. Um,
Phrasing.
it's a difficult one. I mean, these guys both tend to outproduce or produce higher than expectations and projections. Um, but with everybody being hurt, on the 49ers side, I just see there's a real good chance of Pearsall scoring a touchdown. But I mean, you know, JSN is definitely, one of the top receivers just in general, so it's kind of hard to, cast him to the side. Um, I would have to go with just the not reliability, but less questions, that Ricky Pearsall has, and just go with, tried and true Jackson Smith and Jigba.
All right, love it. Yeah, I will lean Pearsall this week. But that is great commentary. We've got another question coming in on the text line, and this is from Specht down in California. Olave or Troy Franklin? I'm assuming it's a PPR setup. So, of course, Troy Franklin, somebody we talked about extensively during the last episode, is somebody that you wanted to target on the
Mm-hmm.
waiver wire. Chris Olave, the number one target for the receivers in New Orleans. That's a really really good question. And Travis, what are you leaning? Troy Franklin, Who are they playing
Hmm.
today?
Franklin's playing the Chargers.
At the Chargers? Ooh.
Yeah.
And then we got Olave, of course, going up against the Saints. We just talked about how much we think the Saints will probably be behind, and that might put a little bit more on Spencer Rattler through the air. So Johnson and Olave could definitely be
Hmm. This is a hard one.
involved in that. And then Trey Franklin, we talked about one of the top targets for Knicks and how their chemistry goes beyond just running routes on the field. But going up against a really tough Chargers defense. Woo! At the Los Angeles Chargers, division rival, all that. Yeah, where's your lean, Travis? What are you thinking?
Hmm. Man, wish I had a moment before to think of this, but Olave and Franklin. I'm just gonna have to go with Olave. Um, I mean, he's let's see, strong market share, 24.4% market share, 28.6% first read share. So he's kind of the guy that they're looking to first. Similar numbers though from Troy Franklin, 41.8% air yard share and 24.4 first read share. Um, but the fact that Franklin's going up against the Chargers defense, which I think is better than Seattle's for the secondary.
Especially if they have defensive backs that are out in Seattle, and if they're
Yeah, I'm just gonna have to go.
potentially
I'm
trailing.
going with Olave on this one.
All right, I think that's a solid bet. Like you mentioned, his target share is good. Of course, if you have like a Juwan Johnson on that same team, I wouldn't, or even Eckler or the Saints running back Kamara, I wouldn't probably stack that against Seattle's defense if you can help it. So if you have any other Saints, it's so close. I might lean Trey Franklin, and similarly, if you have a couple of other Broncos, I'd probably lean Olave. So I hope that helps. Back from California, and we will move on to the next one. Oh, see another one coming from the text line, and a flex question. So it looks
Hmm.
like they need one and have out of four. So Pollard, Olave, Bill, or Jameson Williams at the flex. I think this is a really fascinating problem to have. I would probably not start Olave. Pollard has had obviously the lion's share of the carries and touches in that backfield there in Tennessee. They're going to be a tough Indianapolis defense. Bill is probably going to get the majority of the carries, we think, with Eckler being out against that Raiders defense, who's making the long trip from the West Coast, 3 time zones and all that. Or Jameson Williams at the flex. Of course, Jameson Williams, that high-powered offense. Again, we're assuming this is a full PPR setup. So, yeah, that's a great problem to have. I like Bill
Yeah,
quite a bit.
that's what I'd go with,
I think the
just for the sheer volume.
volume's going to be there. He hasn't. I don't think he's recorded a catch yet. Probably because Eckler normally gets all that work. I think he's 0 for 2 on targets out of the backfield. So that's something to consider, but maybe not this week, but going forward. I do like Jameson Williams also. I like his usage so far this year. I do like what their coaching staff has been able to come up with um, for them. And of course, they're going up against that Baltimore defense on Monday night, which I think is going to be a super high scoring game, much like the Baltimore Buffalo game. So I love that to, well, we didn't talk about it, but go way over the over at 53 and a half. I think it's going to be a slobber knocker. Um, and I think Jameson Williams is going to be heavily involved in that. And so wouldn't fault you for starting him, but according to Big Chops and I, Bill is the correct choice in this situation.
Indeed.
Cool. All right, so moving right along. Oh, another looks like a flex start sit question. Um, and this is interesting. Non PPR. So it's Isaiah Pacheco, Calvin Ridley, Pittman, or Stephon Diggs.
Hmm. Let's see. Just hearing the names.
Yeah,
Sorry,
non
one more time?
PPR. So Pacheco against the Giants. That's Sunday Night Football. And Kansas City's pissed off. They're 0-2 and looked not great on offense, both outings. Of course, absence of Worthy, all that. So do they get back to more of a hard-nosed running style? Or is that just not in their DNA? I'm not sure. And then Calvin Ridley, the next one, Michael Pittman Jr., and then Stephon Diggs. I probably wouldn't start Diggs based on their usage so far. So really it's Pacheco, Ridley, or Pittman as
I'm
considerations.
thinking Pittman. He's going up against a poor Tennessee team. He's shown to be, one of the or a top target on the Indies offense. Strong, usage numbers, favorable matchup. I'm gonna have to go with Pittman. Some of the other guys like Pacheco has not really impressed me this year.
Oh, he's looked
Um,
terrible.
Calvin Ridley's, I think Tennessee still only scored like one touchdown. Um, yeah, I'm gonna go with
Yeah,
Pittman on this one.
Pittman. Okay. Yeah, I think that's a good call there. Um, Great. Any other start sits you've seen come across the wire or in your own leagues, Travis?
Not too much. No, I think you pretty much touched on a lot of a
Ooh,
lot of those
here,
questions.
I see one here for it's another tight end question. Of course, we've been getting a lot of those lately. Um, Full PPR, Tucker Craft or Johnson?
Oh, Tucker Craft,
That's one.
especially with
Of course,
I
Tucker.
believe his read out. He already had I believe the most number of targets last week, and then with read out, I think that number is only going to go up. So Craft to the moon.
Oh, here. Oh, here's an interesting one. Um, Full point PPR needs 2 out of 3. Josh Jacobs, Jordan Mason, or
Mm.
Bill
Oh, oh,
needs
okay.
2 out of 3.
Um, I think Jacobs is definitely one of them. Facing Cleveland.
Okay.
I think he's got a favorable matchup there. Um, Sorry, who are the other two again? Mason
JP Mason or Bill?
and Bill. Okay, let's see. Bill's going up against
Hmm.
Vegas, but Mason,
Mm-hmm.
is basically gonna become the bell cow at this point
Yeah.
against Cincinnati, who also has a very even worse defense. Oof. But yeah, I think it's gonna have to be Mason on this one. Just as poor as the Cincinnati defense is, almost like famously poor. Like that's
They've looked a little better this year, I
Yeah. It's not
think.
that they
Kind
don't
of
have any good
marginally.
players, but Yeah, I think it's gonna have to be Jordan Mason, in my opinion.
All right. Well, I like Jordan Mason there. I support that. Like we talked about, I think it's gonna be a kind of grinded out affair in Washington, not state. So that's not a bad way to approach it.
I mean, if it was any other situation where like Aaron Jones wasn't hurt, it would be Bill all the way. But just the fact that Aaron Jones is hurt, I think the Minnesota's made it clear that they're gonna give Jordan Mason the ball a lot more. So yeah, that just swings it in my favor. Otherwise, it would be probably be the other way around.
All right. Well, that'll do it for our last minute start sit-em questions. Thank you, everybody, for participating. This is something that we will have going forward, so we will keep the text lines open for you. All right. So with the last couple minutes before kickoff, Travis, just want to run through the pick'ems real quick. So this will be just lightning round action. I got Packers Browns. I'm leaning Packers.
Let me bring this up real quick. Packers Browns. Yeah, Packers. Definitely.
Okay.
Gotta be Packers.
Colts at Titans. I'm thinking Indy.
I'm trying to remember who I chose. I may have to do a new set of decisions, but
that's okay.
Yeah, that's Indy against the,
All right.
the Titans. Definitely
Indy. Bengals at Vikings. Battle of the backup QBs. I put Cincy down, but I can be persuaded.
Higher bounce of money coming on the Vikings. I'm gonna go with the Vikings on this one.
Vikings. It is a 70% lean to the Vikings in my little league here, so that makes sense. Steelers at Patriots. Ooh.
Let's see. Steelers, Patriots. Ooh, this one. It's not really any money indicators, not really any sharp indicators. I'm going to have to go with Patriots on this one. They seem to be sort of on the upswing, and Steelers sort of seem to be on the downswing. So I'm just going to ride that momentum and say Patriots.
All right. Next, we got Rams at Philly. I like the Eagles.
Yeah, I mean, it's the Eagles, the returning Super Bowl champions, so definitely have to go with the Eagles on this one.
Okay, Jets at Bucks. I like Tampa.
Yeah, there's favored by so much. It's hard to overlook that. So yeah, it's gonna go with the Buccaneers on this one.
Okay. Raiders at Commanders. I think we talked about it all episode. I think we lean Commanders for a money line.
I mean, just with Daniels being out, that throws a whole wrench into it. There's a decent amount of money, not too many tickets, but definitely larger size bets on the Raiders. I'm going to go with the Raiders on this one. I believe I went Commanders with my original choice, but if we're going for the lines as they are right now, I'm going to change my vote to Raiders.
Okay. And Falcons Panthers.
I'm going to go with the Falcons on this one. There is, it's a divisional game, or it's ripe for early season upset within the first 3 weeks. But if we're that's from a betting perspective. If we're looking just straight up, I'm gonna have to go with the Falcons on this one.
Okay, Texans at Jaguars. Kind of like the Jags.
Let's see. Ooh, interesting. Texans at Jaguars. I'm gonna have to go with the Texans on this one. It's a good amount of money on there. But it's a close game, and it's also falls under the system
is that
of
money
early.
Against the spread, or is that?
No, that's money line.
Up?
43% of the tickets, 59% of the handle on Texans. Expected to be a close game. Also follows the early season upset model. So this one, it's close enough on the odds where I'm taking the Texans.
Okay. Broncos at Chargers.
Let's see. Broncos, Chargers. Also prime for early season upset. Divisional game. It's close, but I'm gonna have to be contrarian on this one and go with the Broncos.
Wow, I do like the Chargers a little bit here, but Chop's going for the upset special. Saints and Seahawks.
All right. Oh, this has got to be the Seahawks. Saints are just
Yeah, it's Seahawks. That's
the
easy.
Seahawks are in a
Cowboys
different
Bears.
different galaxy than the Saints. Most people are, or most teams are. So yeah, definitely gonna be Seahawks. Definitely Seahawks.
Cowboys Bears.
Let's see. Where's the money on this one? Okay, so this is gonna be a tight game. I believe I originally had the Bears, but I think they're battling a good amount of injuries, so I'm gonna change my bet and say Cowboys.
Yeah, good call. Cardinals at 49ers.
As much as I don't want to say it, I'm gonna have to go with the Cardinals on this one.
Gross.
Also falls
Ugh.
under early season upsets. These guys see each other twice a year. They're more familiar, and there's a big amount of money on the Cardinals. 23% of the tickets and 67% of the handle. So less than a third of the amount of tickets, but over two-thirds of the total amount of money. So yeah, huge bets coming in on the Cardinals money line.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
Yeah, I'm going Cardinals.
Chiefs, Giants. Got Chiefs.
Yeah, that's
And then
another.
Ravens, Lions. I'm
Ooh,
bleeding Ravens in this one.
this should be a fun game. Let's see.
Should be a great game.
Yeah, I think the Lions, they showed that their offense wasn't as anemic as it was in week one. But I mean, I think the Ravens are just overall generally more well balanced. Yeah, it's gonna have to go with the Ravens on this one.
Alrighty, and that'll bring us right up to kickoff. So,
Remember to
thank
set those
everybody for
lineups, kids.
listening. Woo! Panic time.
Yep.
Time to tinker. All right. Well, thanks everybody for listening. Travis, got any words of wisdom before we depart?
Just go with your gut. Don't overthink it. And good luck and have fun.
All right. Thanks for listening, everybody. This is Governor Greg Davis for Travis Big Chops